You want to leave the U.S. for lower taxes? Well, get ready to pay a price. The White House is considering using executive action again, this time to stop U.S. companies who are moving their headquarters to lower their tax rate. Now, Steve, a lot of people are saying, look, it's just the corporations that are going to get hit, but what about the rest of us? How will it affect the average person?
Well, put aside the unconstitutionality of what the president is proposing or may do. The fact of the matter is this is going to mean less investment in the United States, less job creation, and less opportunity for people to get pay raises. And another thing to keep in mind is if you make a profit in the U.S., you will still pay a tax regardless of where you're headquartered. All it means is you don't pay taxes in the U.S. on profits you make in other parts of the world. Yep. So we're driving away investment, driving away making the U.S. look like an anti-business environment, and the people pay the price for it. The politicians may feast on demagoguery, but the American people pay the price in fewer job opportunities.
Well, Bruce, a lot of people are looking at corporate tax rates and wondering whether we do have an anti-business environment. Look at this. We have the highest corporate income tax rate in the civilized world. Should it be that way?
Well, first of all, in Chicago, where Walgreens is based, that's one of the high-profile examples of this. If they would have succeed with their inversion, which they're not going to do, it wouldn't be the corporations.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Inversion is just a fancy word for saying move to another country to have cheaper taxes.
Exactly. And they're merging with a company overseas, so they would have gone overseas to relocate their headquarters. Would have been a huge loss of tax revenue, and when corporations don't pay taxes, they're going to look to us. So, but more broadly here, the Walgreens CEO said that in the end they couldn't do it, or they weren't going to do it because they thought that the risks would outweigh the benefits. But they were also being chided by not only President Obama, but Dick Durbin, the number 2 to Harry Reid.
Bruce, I got to cut you off. You're taking too much time. And John Tamny, I want to go. The Walgreens example is important here because what happened when Walgreens said they were not going to leave the U.S., we're going to stay here because of pressure. Look what happened to the stock. It went down 14%.
Oh, it's very telling. When a president presumes to hold companies hostage in the U.S., that sends a chilling message to the investors who create jobs. Businesses are in business to serve shareholders. If you don't serve shareholders, they will move their capital elsewhere and job creation will shrink.
Very quickly, that's a great point. What does it say when the government tells you where you can and cannot move?
Yeah, that's really something. I like how the UK and Ireland and Netherlands are turning themselves into tax havens, and we're going the other direction. This also really hurts government workers and teachers and firemen and cops whose pension funds invest in these companies who are trying to lower their bills.
Sabrina, quickly.
Yeah, well, this is an example of the president who wants to always be in the driver's seat when it comes to businesses with no sort of regard for the fact that businesses take into a lot of different variables and considerations when they make these choices, whether it's about moving your headquarters overseas or equal pay, as the president was pushing this week. He thinks that he can sort of tinker with things without any consideration for what businesses are thinking on their ends.
Government telling us what we can and cannot do. Coming up, lots to worry about in the market, but not if you get the fear.